completely fine. It's just like, you know how you're sitting here saying like, you know, for as long as Dawn, like men have always ran everything. If men have always been running everything, right? And like everybody's just so comfortable and happy. Why do women feel the need? Happen?
Speaking to the mic.
I'm sorry.
To the penis.
Like why do like why do women feel the need to fight for their rights if everybody's so happy and complicit?
You are absolutely right.
Good question.
Like that's my biggest thing. Okay, men have always ran things and stuff like that. Okay, yeah, there are complicit women. Don't get me wrong. There are women who feel like men should lead complacent. Yes, I do apologize.
That's fine.
You know, there are women who are okay with that, but there are also women who, why do women fight so hard? Because obviously there's some imbalances that females feel like is not comfortable. So yeah, I could sit here and be like, yeah, the most societies and things like that have been ran by men, but obviously why do women always revolt against it? Because we don't feel like it's equal and fair. We're not happy. Y'all feel happy, but obviously there's a big ass demographic of females who do not feel the same way.
That's a good point, and I'm gonna answer that because it's a very valid point. I disagree with you when you say that women are not happy. First, no. Let me answer why.
Okay.
I agree with you. Yes, a lot of women are unhappy, and especially, firstly, it's new. This is Western world, and it's very new.
Since
new,
the 50s.
50 years in terms of human history is new.
Of
right?
course.
Okay. So,
but were you there?
For the longest period of human history, men were in charge, and were women happy? I don't know. What I'm saying now,
it shows in history.
What I'm saying now is that if you talk about your own personal relationships, which you've already done, you like the idea of a man in a dominant place. So there's still something evolutionary and biological about females liking male dominance to some degree, right? Because in your personal relationships, you do want that. I'm not saying that women should have no rights. I'm not saying you shouldn't fight for equal rights. In fact, even though you already have more rights than men, I'm not saying you should do those things. I'm not saying that. What I am only doing is stating the facts that matriarchal societies fail. And I'm stating that because it's been proven throughout history. I'm not even talking about the happiness of people. So the point you're making is a valid point. I never discussed whether people were happy. I was discussing competition. I was discussing survival. And in pure survival situations, most of the time, nobody's happy. Because let me tell you something. The men who were going out to die to defend their women probably weren't happy either. And you talk about, this is a big point I want to make because women confuse this very often. They talk about the fact that men have all the power, men make all the money, men are in charge, and we oppress women. Let me make something very clear to you.
Okay.
Firstly, you're confusing 1% of men with all men. The majority of men have no money, no power, no sex from their wife, no fucking chance in court. They can't even keep their house. They won't get to see their kids, and they don't. So most men, their life sucks.
Okay.
That's the first thing. The second thing, when a man gets up at 4 a.m. to go carry garbage to earn a good wage, he ain't thinking, I'm going to do this so I can oppress that bitch because she's broke. He's doing it thinking so I can provide for my family, so my woman can stay at home and raise my kids and have nice nails while I'm out here carrying trash. You go to a coal mine, those dudes are not down there thinking about oppressing women. They're down there thinking about providing for women. Okay. Now, I'm not saying that there's not bad apples, but in general, us men are prepared to take on more bullshit to protect you than you would possibly believe. And in the modern world, they've spun that. Feminism spun that. Men make all the money. You women need more money because men make the money and men are in charge and men have the good jobs. Men are out here giving up their fucking life for you chicks. They're giving up their life for you. And feminism prevents you respecting it. And this is a Western phenomenon. I say this as a man who lives in the East. In the East, women don't think that way. They think, I don't want to make money. I want a man who takes care of me. I want to drive a Bentley. I want 3 or 4 kids. I want the man to make money. And I will respect him for working so hard for me. It's only here in the West they start talking shit, saying, well, I deserve that job too, blah, blah, blah. It's not even, it won't even make you happy. You don't want that job. It's stress. It's unhappiness. It's bullshit. So I agree with what you're saying, but the point about happiness in society, et cetera,
yeah.
Once again, be very, very careful what you say, and you need to resist the slave mind because as much as you say you're unhappy, I'm unhappy.
He's making so much sense.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But see, with men though, I feel like the reason why it's been so successful is so successful is because men like run things off ego. Women run things off emotions. I can't lie. That's just what it is. Guys have something to prove. They always be like, I'm better than this. I want to prove this. I want to do this. I want to do that. Girls are like, we gotta be compassionate. We don't want to do war. We don't want to do all this. So obviously men are going to advance faster than women. Don't get me wrong. And that's why
it's more forceful.
Exactly. And that high key does, contribute to their success.
This is a good demonstration of what that is.
How do you feel that? No,
it's not even that I feel, it's a fact. If you look at Scandinavian countries, shout out to Jordan Peterson, he talks about this. The women are that's probably the most equal society in the world,
Correct.
Scandinavian countries, Norway,
okay.
etc. And what they found is when you leave women to their own devices, they go into what they want to do even more so. The men pick engineering, architecture, etc. things. Women go into more social jobs, being a nurse, a teacher, etc. So it's not that women are being held against what they want to do. It's not that. It's just that, simply put, if you leave a woman to her own devices, she's almost always going to pick a job that deals with people. If you leave a man to his own devices, he's going to pick a job that deals more with things. And the other thing too is that men are far more willing to work overtime, work dangerous jobs that women never want to work. You know, women want equality until it's about, doing offshore fishing or offshore drilling or any job that's dangerous or physically labor intensive.
Or staying on the Titanic.
Yeah,
No,
So
you're not equal now. You're not equal now. Oh, okay.
So
I get
women
it.
do those jobs because they're emotional beings, right? Like nursing,
because you were saying like men push. You were saying like men push harder. It's not that men push harder or whatever it is. It's not that. It's simply put that if allowed, right, women are going to just. I'm just going to say it. Women pick easier jobs physically, and that's why they get paid less. They work less hours. They're more likely to take vacation time. And this is all statistical fact.
Yeah,
there is no wage gap because of gender. There's a wage gap because of choice.
Yep.
Yeah.
A woman doesn't get paid less by the fact just because she has a vagina. No, she gets paid because of the choices she makes. And let's take it a step further. Over 60% of college enrollees are women.
Yep,
women have more college degrees than men now. Why do men still make more money? Because men go into fields that pay more, that tend to be science, technology, engineering, and math, STEM. Women don't want to do that shit. Pilots, engineers, etc., like we were discussing before, dominated by men.
Because men are more willing to do competitive jobs than females,
Yes.
which I technically
because it's a choice.
Yeah, it's
and
a
then
choice.
Also, it's a biological thing. Men are valued on what they create. Women are not. So women don't have the same burden of performance and incentive to be a high earner.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? They just don't. Men are innately more competitive, etc. So women make less money because of choice. And I think a lot of people like to say women make less money because we're oppressed or whatever. No, you're not oppressed. And as a matter of fact, I would argue that as a woman, if you try to be an engineer or become a pilot, etc.,
you get an easy.
There you go.
Because now they got quotas. They got quotas.
They're fitting a quota, but the only time that like argument is valid in my eyes is if you guys are working the exact same field, the exact same job, but you're getting paid differently. If I'm like a little like daycare person and you're like an NBA player, how can I ever sit here and compare our wages? That's ridiculous. But if we're both waking up at the same time, taking care of children, or like any job, same exact thing, but you're getting paid more than me, I'm gonna have a problem regardless.
They actually did that. And you know what they found?
And what they found,
women got
paid more, 8% more.
And see, then they shouldn't complain. Look at the statistics. If you look at facts, you can't complain. You can't based off opinion.
Okay. So it's like I said, it's not that because here's the thing: when men make more money, they tend to look, okay, I can raise a family for my kids. When women make more money, they say, fuck this, I don't need a man.
Mm-hmm.
There's a big difference when men make money versus when women make money. Women make money to say I'm independent. Men make money so they can find somebody to be dependent on.
We make money. Why do you think? Listen, let me tell you the secret about being a man. We'll sleep on our boys' couch. We don't give a fuck. Why do you think we're buying Armani suits and Lamborghinis and mansions for dudes?
For women.
For women. We're out here making money to give it all to you. All we want you to do is to be loyal and not have some dude talking Mars Taurus in your ear. That's all we want. That's all we want.
I have to respectfully
disagree. It's really not that difficult, right? That's all it is. Okay. And I agree with what you're saying. But listen, men have evolved to be competitive. We've evolved to compete with each other. And a man is more prepared. We talk about male CEOs, right? That's the biggest thing. There's more male CEOs than female CEOs. I'll tell you why. Because a man will give up his life to become CEO.
I agree.
A woman still wants to go see her friends, still wants to have kids, which she should, because it's more important than a job. She still wants to have a day off because she's a bit sad. Blah, blah. Most men are doing 18-hour days for 15 years. Like, you don't understand the work ethic a man has inside of him. We have an innate desire to conquer Earth.
And that's what makes y'all great.
And that's what makes us all great. So it's unfair for us to compare and direct correlation. The biggest arguments we're having on this panel is about direct correlation comparisons.
There is no such thing.
And there's no such thing. Women have children and do fantastic things that men could never do.
Agreed.
And men do fantastic things that women could never do. And the most masculine thing a man can do is accept that women are better at other things. And the most feminine thing a woman can do is accept that men are better than other things. So and that's why I asked the pilot question, because the smartest, the most feminine woman here would sit and say, I would like a man to fly my plane.
And
so Jade sits here and say that it's yin and yang. She's completely right.
The only 100%. Reason I was making the point that I was making was because as soon as I said that we are equal, I don't know who it was, somebody said, and that's where your problem is.
Yeah,
there is no problem. There is no problem though,
No,
because we are equal, but we both have strengths and weaknesses, and they balance one another out.
So
therefore,
that inherently means we are unequal. If
that inherently means that we are equal.
We need each other.
No.
We need each other.
Can't live without each other.
You have to have one in order to have the other.
Let's all have.
One
let's,
is neither
let's-
better than the other.
let's
It's
all-
just necessary.
Let's all have a drink.
What's the most human thing?
Let's all cheers. Let's all cheers. Let's all cheers to 500K. Cheers.